Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. For those of you who are new here, my name is Princess, and my family and I moved to Ethiopia earlier this year and began to live a life there. We made some investments, started to build a home, everything like that, and we came back to the US temporarily late last year just to kind of reposition ourselves for the future a little bit better. But yeah, on this channel, and sometimes my husband, when he joins me, am helping people who are interested in relocating specifically to Ethiopia, because that is what we're doing, that's the journey we're on, and that is what we are most familiar with. As you all are probably aware, there's kind of a movement happening right now on YouTube where a lot of diaspora are looking to move back to the continent of Africa. So if Ethiopia is a place that you might be interested in for returning to the continent, stay tuned, because in this video, I'm going to be sharing the 10 most profitable business ideas for Ethiopia. Keep watching. Okay, so these are the top 10 most profitable business ideas that you can start if you are looking to move to Ethiopia, or if you're currently living there and looking to generate some more income for you or your family. I do have some notes here that I'm going to be referring to, so I might be looking down from time to time, and it's basically just to keep me on track and make sure I don't forget what I want to say. So let's get right into this list of the top 10 most profitable business ideas. The first one that I am going to give you guys today is agricultural products exports. So Ethiopia is very well known, I would say worldwide, for their coffee, teas, spices, and other things. Like they're also a big producer of wheat, like I said in a previous video. So those are some items, among other things, that you could work to export to other countries. You don't have to own land necessarily to do these things. There are people who are already farming coffee or tea or wheat, spices, other things like that, that you can partner with. So this would be a great way for you to partner with local Ethiopians and create jobs and benefit yourself at the same time. And in any other case, if you didn't want to necessarily partner with somebody, you could purchase land and begin farming these items on your own. But that would obviously take some know-how with the farming techniques that are utilized to produce a good crop. And also, as you've seen in my previous videos, land in Ethiopia is not cheap. So that's something to keep in mind if you are going to go that route. I think the smartest way would be to partner. That's number one. Okay, number two is manufacturing. So Ethiopia has a very large and growing population, and there's going to be, and there is, a need for certain manufactured products for that larger population. And I did mention also in my previous video that the Ethiopian government has put some restrictions on certain imports that are coming in. So I did mention that this is an opportunity for those of us who are looking to return to Ethiopia to start a business. So basically you're going to be filling the gap, where those other imports that were coming in the area of makeup and canned goods, and I think it was furniture. It was a whole long list of things. This is where we can come in and fill the gap. So if you're looking to get into manufacturing, some things to consider to manufacture that I believe would be profitable is basically cans or plastics to help with packaging other people's products. So if you're not producing the food or the makeup or the dairy or whatever it is, you can produce the containers that those items would go in. You can manufacture them. Another manufacturing idea would be textiles. So different cloths for clothing, or what are they called? Window curtains, thank you. Or table coverings, or whatever it might be that we use textiles and cloths for. That's something that you could be the provider of. I personally know from experience that window curtains are very expensive. And so probably the people who are manufacturing the textiles for those curtains are making a good dime. So that's something to consider for your second business idea in Ethiopia. Number 3 is health and wellness services. I think this is a really great idea, especially if health and fitness or wellness is something that you're passionate about. You could open up a gym or a spa. Definitely get into, maybe opening up Pilates or some other types of forms of exercise, aerobics, water aerobics, something that, maybe isn't as popular or well known, and you can be on the leading edge of innovation in that regard. I recently saw on the Natural Ghana Girls channel, she did an interview with a woman who I believe was half Ghanaian, half Nigerian, but grew up in the U.S. I don't know if I got her ethnicities right, but basically that's beside the point. She grew up in the U.S. and she started a yoni steaming service for women's health, women's reproductive health, and I thought it was really unique and innovative idea. And actually, in Ethiopia, it is already known to a degree because it's something that women would do. I think years ago and even today, it's more traditional. And so if that is something that you wanted to get into in Ethiopia, it wouldn't be so foreign of an idea for Ethiopian women. It'd be something that they're used to, but you could do it with like a modern twist to it so that you could attract a younger, generation of women who might see it as like trendy or cool. So definitely if you're into health, wellness, fitness, that's an area that could be highly profitable in Ethiopia. All right, the 4th business idea I'm gonna give you guys is real estate. So I did a couple previous videos on who's eligible to purchase real estate, housing, land, all of that. And you can go back and watch those videos if you haven't seen it yet. But basically, if you fit into one of those categories, it is very wise of you to make an investment in Ethiopia. We purchased land, like a year and a half ago now, almost a year and a half ago. And the value of our land has doubled, tripled, quadrupled. Like it's just I feel like every other month it's getting more and more expensive. Maybe every month. Like it's crazy how fast land and houses appreciate in Ethiopia. So if you are able, I would definitely recommend that you invest in land or a house in Ethiopia for your future. And even if you aren't planning to build a house or live there long term, like I said, if you want to buy something to resell, maybe like fixer upper, you can fix it up, resell the property, and then buy another one. I think it's a very lucrative business in Ethiopia. Also, building housing, if you want to build some nice temporary housing for people, I think that's a really great idea. Like I said, there's a movement happening where the diaspora are moving back home. And so, these people who are coming home are coming from countries that are a lot more developed. And so they're used to a certain standard of living. And it can be hard, I'll speak specifically in Addis, to find something that is both affordable and high quality, as far as living. So if someone were to kind of build affordable, high quality, basically standard living, I think that would do really well, especially for people who are returning to the country. They would probably be very happy to rent from you, as long as the prices are fair. So that is number 4. All right, so business number 5, education. Education in Ethiopia is pretty much limited to government education, like local private schools, and some international schools. And there are issues, pros and cons with all of the options. If you are coming from outside and returning back to Ethiopia, you may not be, keen to put your child into the government school for your own personal reasons, and I wouldn't blame you. The private schools aren't bad, but they do come with their own set of challenges in terms of making sure that your child is getting the best education. And I would say that's because it's for profit, right? So if you're doing something for profit, you have an ulterior motive beyond just educating children. So that's something to keep in mind. And the international schools, I mean, forget about that. Like, it's out of reach for most people. The prices are outrageously ridiculous. So back to your business, if you are a person who has a background in education, I think starting a quality private school would be an excellent, profitable idea, you know, and make sure that when you do it, you're doing it with the right heart and intentions, you know, to actually educate children. Or I would also recommend a preschool. I think, you know, they're starting to come up, especially like on the wealthier neighborhoods. You know, parents who want to be out of the house, or it's a 2-parent household that's, you know, both parents are working, and so people are looking for childcare. And while, you know, Sarah-Tanias are great, it can't, you know, some parents don't feel comfortable trusting a stranger in their home with their children all day while they're gone, you know, and that's just, it is what it is. So if you're able to start like a reputable preschool that has like a good record for, you know, education, like getting kids started and prepared to go to school, a good record on safety, if you provide meals, like maybe healthy meals, I think you would do really well. And especially if you focus on neighborhoods that are kind of up and coming and not that are you know, totally already up, even though you could go there, but you'd probably face a little bit more competition. Okay. Business idea number 6 is ecotourism. So Ethiopia is a very beautiful country with stunning landscapes, various different types of topography, ranging from deserts to forests. It's just really amazing to see. So if you are a person who's looking to move back to Ethiopia, and maybe you're from there originally and you're familiar with the different sightseeing or tourist attractions, start your own ecotourism business. And, you know, you can set up tour packages for people who are coming to visit and, you know, host tours and do something like that. I think that would be very profitable. I think there are a lot of people around the world who are interested in Ethiopia, especially to visit. And, you know, I don't know of that many tour companies in Ethiopia that are really high quality and that I would recommend. So I think there's a huge opening there. So you're welcome. All right. Business idea number 7 is food and beverage. And so I have mentioned in previous videos that there are a lot of new international type restaurants that do exist in Addis Ababa. But they're pretty much concentrated in one area, you know, that Bole, Kasanchis, Meganania, maybe type areas. So I would say if you're interested in bringing like a new burger restaurant or a new pizza restaurant or a new breakfast restaurant, like American breakfast, pancakes, waffles, scrambled eggs, that does not exist, as far as I know. Then yes, definitely make that move and try to branch out into different areas. Of course, you want to be strategic with your restaurant location because you want people to come in and people who are familiar with those types of food. But I even think that there will be people who might not be familiar but are willing to try it. And so you can limit your competition in that way by like getting outside of that Bole area. And you know, there are people who are diaspora who live, you know, a little bit outside of the main city who also want to enjoy those restaurants but don't want to travel so far or get into traffic and all that. So I think there's a very huge opportunity for profit there as well. Something my husband and I were talking about, not that we're gonna start, but that we wish was there, is maybe like some drive-through options. You know, when you kind of want to be quick and pick up something, like even drive-through coffee. Coffee is really big in Ethiopia, and you know, we want to be able to sit and take the time and drink coffee and enjoy and chat. But sometimes, like, you know, when you're out there, if you are starting your business and you're getting out there, you got an early day, you want to be able to go and like grab some coffee or grab a quick egg sandwich, or, you know, whatever it is that people are looking for to maybe grab on the road. So that's something to consider when you're looking at food and beverage. Another thing with food and beverage, I would say, is food deliveries, as a food delivery service. I think that'd be a really great idea. I did see that there is something currently in operation that is a food delivery service, but they mostly deliver by bike, which is fine. But if you were going to start a food delivery service, you could maybe purchase a car and be a little bit, or, you know, a car or two, and maybe also implement bikes and maybe get a competitive edge in that way. Faster delivery times, maybe even offering more options, because in a car you can go a little bit further than you can on a bike. So definitely something to keep in mind if you're going to do food and drink service. All right, number 8, renewable energy. So this might be a tough business to break into, I think, because it would require a little bit more coordination with the government. However, I would say maybe looking at sustainable and renewable sources of energy, such as solar power. I think that if we were able in Ethiopia to kind of get a solar panel business going, we could see less of those annoying power outages, you know, throughout the city. So if someone, you know, I'm not really sure if this exists. I haven't seen too many houses with solar panels. Actually, I don't think I've seen any houses in Ethiopia with solar panels. So it might be a tougher area to break into, but I think it'd be worthwhile to do some research on and look into that, because there's definitely an opportunity there. Ethiopia is known as the country of 13 months of sunshine. So there's plenty of sun, and we can do it. So I think if we're able to get that going, that would be something people would be willing to invest in. All right. Number 9, online services. This is a big one for me, because I think it is probably the lowest risk business that you could start in Ethiopia. Because 1, you can start it before you get there, and 2, it's not so much dependent on too many external factors. The barriers to entry are typically low. So in terms of online services, I'm talking about starting a YouTube channel, starting a blog and monetizing it, selling physical or digital products online, e-commerce. There are so many ways that you can generate income online these days, and it's definitely worth looking into. And while I'm on this topic, if you are still in the US or somewhere else, and you're looking to move back to Africa, I would say go ahead and start your online business now, and start, you know, just kind of get yourself out there, whether, you know, whatever it is that you're doing, and continue to build it up over time. And if you are in the US, you do want to make sure you register with the IRS for an employee identification number or some kind of tax identification number, EIN or TIN, outside of your social security number, just so that you can be prepared that if your business grows, and that goes for any type of business, not just online services, that you would still be able to, you know, do what you need to do to satisfy your tax obligations as a U.S. citizen or U.S. permanent resident if you are. If you're not in the U.S., that does not apply to you, so you can completely ignore that. But those of us who are coming from the U.S. and going back into Africa, make sure you get that squared away before you go. All right, so online services was number 9, and that is something to consider. The last business opportunity that I have to share with you guys today is logistics and transportation. Just like the renewable energy one, this could be somewhat of a difficult area to break into as well, because you're going to need to work with the Ministry of Transportation and the government in Ethiopia to get things probably going the way you want them to. But this is something that I think could be improved in Ethiopia. It's not that it doesn't exist. You know, there's the rideshare, there is the bus, the taxis, the minibuses, all of that does exist. But I feel like there is still room for improvement. And the delivery service idea that I gave you with the food and service, the food and drink services, could be also tied in here. So if you were going to do some sort of logistics and transportation business, you could tie it into a delivery service business. So that's kind of a 2-for-1 there that I think would be really useful. So those are the top 10 items for the most profitable business ideas that I have for you in Ethiopia based on my experience living in Ethiopia. And I hope it was very helpful for you guys. And feel free to reach out to me on email if you want to discuss any of these ideas further for your personal situation. My husband and I do offer consultation services. For the time being, we are offering our services free of charge. So send us an email if you have any questions. It's ethiolivingfree@gmail.com. Maybe I'll put that in the description of this video. And like I said, for the time being, is free of charge. We're not charging for these services, but that will not last forever. So if you have questions, make sure you get them in now. All right, guys, thank you so much for tuning in, for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. And please don't forget to subscribe so you can get more information and more videos like this as I put them out. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.